first guest.
The most famous pop star in the world.
She's won 5 Grammy Awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand up.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga!
Hey, this is Lady Gaga. The radio.
Carson Daly live. Producer Angie joins me, and our friend Lady Gaga just walked in. Great timing.
Hello.
And it's great to see you because I thought maybe you'd be perhaps limping or something, but you're moving very well, Gaga.
No, I'm not limping. I have the VMAs in like 10 days. I can't be limping, Carson.
Well, I heard
you
you-
of all people know that.
Oh, I do know that. I limped my way through the VMAs.
That was because he was drinking. But that's a different story, yeah.
That's because I had a 40 in my pocket and I couldn't walk straight.
Yes.
I have to
I have a 40 in my pocket right now.
Do you? Share and share alike. You look great. You've got some nice makeup on your face. I like to describe you to. I know your fans. They'd love to be here. You've
let's
got
see
some
how good
nice.
he is, kids.
You look fantastic. A tad understated in all the right ways, but with some nice sort of not clown makeup. What kind of makeup? How would you describe that?
It's colorful. It's
Colorful.
green
There's some
and
eye
yellow.
makeup.
He said I was understated. We've come a long way with the straight boys, I'll tell you.
You know? I don't know what that means.
We do. It's okay.
I should have gone to Mickey's last night, I guess,
huh? We had so much fun last night. But they were just asking me as we walked in, and we've been working, for like the past 30 hours since the song leaked.
Yeah.
So we all turned to each other and said, "Oh, what did we do last night? Oh, Mickey's."
Mickey's.
That's
right.
Explain Mickey's if people don't know. Most of our listeners are aware of Mickey's, but Mickey's is a very happening gay club in West Hollywood, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And you went there last night and
yeah.
showed some videos for the new stuff, or what'd you do?
We were just hanging out and we filmed the performers because they were amazing last night. And actually, my friend Courtney did a performance of Applause with her friend. And
Nice.
It was really fun. And we just filmed and had a great time. I mean, that's where I started, was in clubs like that. I mean,
Right.
all over New York. And then I went all over the country, and then I went all over the world. That's really how I started. So hadn't been back for a while.
So you feel right at home. Plus, you've had the injury, you had the hip surgery. Now you're working your way back with Art Pop, the record coming out in November. We've got the
Yes,
leak. So
November 11th.
I've mentioned that you had to speed things up here. We have a lot to discuss with you. I'm super happy to have you live in the studio. Let's just start with Applause. I want to play the song. I want to get your fans just excited, just get the new music out there. We'll ask you a couple questions about the last year, but I really want to focus on Art Pop and you moving forward from now.
They want to hear about the album. Ask me about the album.
I've got a list of questions from Twitter, so we're going to go through all that. But give me a little bit on Applause. Tell me about the song, what it means to you, why it's sort of the first single that'll represent what Art Pop will ultimately be, etc. Go ahead.
Well, this song is about what makes my heart beat as a performer, and that's my relationship with my fans and the way that they have that incredible experience when they're watching me on stage, and the exchange, the love that we share. That's the thing that keeps me going. And anytime things get hard for me on the road, it's the applause that really keeps me passionate about what I do.
The song leaked earlier than you expected, Gaga. How did you get the news and how did you react to it? I mean, I read your tweet. It was too much for you to handle on a Saturday, but how have you been able to just accept it and move on?
Well, we all, woke up very early and that day and got our stuff together, and we got the record out on iTunes. It's on iTunes now, so you can go buy it, and it's already gotten over 1,000 spins, so we're really pleased. We just got it out as soon as possible.
It's supposed to go out on the 19th. It comes out early. Angie, that's a good question. How did it
get
leak?
leaked? Yeah. Who does that?
Well, we found the person who
you
did it,
did?
and they are probably going to go to jail. And
No kidding? Seriously?
Yeah, and I hate that.
Wait, it's someone you trusted, someone that you thought was...
No, it's a hackers.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and I don't really have any control over that because I'm an artist from Interscope Records. So what's lucrative for me privately is also what's lucrative for an entire company.
Right.
So if something leaks, it's them that takes legal action, not me. So if there's any more leaks, people, they go to jail, and it makes me so upset because I know they're just fans,
Right.
and they're so excited to get any new music out.
So someone hacks into a computer system, pulls up...
I thought it was an engineer in the studio
Right,
that,
no.
you left a file open and they just clicked and dragged it somewhere
No.
and then leaked it.
No, it was a hacker.
Wow, that's too bad. Also, Katy Perry's song Roar got leaked, and it was fun to see you guys. You both have records coming out in the fall, and they'll pitch you guys together, these big stars that you are. But it was fun to see you guys had such a nice rapport online, just sort of talking about, hey, I'm a fan of yours, and sucks, someone leaked my stuff too. And
Yeah, well, because we all have to deal with the same stuff, and the music industry's definitely changed over the past 10 years, and so sticking together, I think, is important, and getting out the message about the music.
let's go back just for a second. The hip injury, describe that. I know you did almost 90% of your tour dates, say about 99 of 120. 20-ish.
Yeah.
You had to cut some of those and go right into what happened to your hip, how is it now, and what's that road been like?
Well, I know that it was reported that I had a labral tear, which is very commonly known as a sports injury, but I also broke my hip, but we just didn't find it until a couple MRIs later. So I was in a wheelchair for like 3 months, and it was kind of just was what it was. But you know what? I'm really lucky, and if a broken hip is all I had to go through to withstand the blow of fame, I'm okay with that because I feel so good now, and my creativity and my mind is so clear, and I'm just ready to perform.
So you're sort of almost glad that it happened, or the fact that it did happen is, working out for the right.
Yeah, well, because it stops the machine, and then you get to just be an artist again, which is what I care about.
Weren't you bummed? Because I know how much you love performing, and to have to stop that machine so abruptly. Were you bummed at first?
I do love performing, but I love performing well.
Right.
And I'm a great performer. And, I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I just mean that I studied theater since I was young, and I'm a student of theater, and I'm a student of the legends. I studied them all since a very young age, doing their makeup at home and rehearsing my routines. So if I miss a step, I know. And if I miss a step, I'm not happy.
When you're in the wheelchair, do you start to romanticize the idea of what art pop is as a concept, as music?
Actually, we had already written most of art pop by the time that happened. So that moment was more for me a time to reflect on the music and edit it and make it really clean. Art pop is, I was saying the other day, it's delish on the ears. It's like candy for the ears. We spent a lot of time polishing those synths and polishing those drums so that they could have this live and loud, boisterous, explosive quality, but still feel sort of cosmic.
One of the things that we love so much about you is that popular music now, there's been such a 60s soul revival with like what Bruno Mars is doing and Justin and Robin Thicke, and they're tapping into that. And then on the pop side, you have this real sort of like chop shop, Rihanna and Miley and all of that happening with a lot of bottom end to it. And then you come with this not retro sound, but we just heard it on the radio. It sounds so infectious. When you think of art pop, do you hear it first? And is that what you hear?
I learned about art pop through the music. So we sat around, me and Paul, DJ White Shadow, as well as DJ Zed, whose record I'm sure you guys play. You guys play Clarity.
Yeah, every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And then
I hate it.
I'm sure he's very upset
kidding.
about that. And he's incredible too. And DJ Madian is on the album, and we all worked together. And I would say my position as a producer, if I could describe it, is I'm like an atelier at the end of right before the couture show starts. So I go in and I literally sat down with Zed, and he played me so many beats and made me so many beats, but I literally went through his hard drives and sat there with my glasses on, just looking through everything until I found stuff and said, you have to put this.
Just listening to stuff, and then you put it over here.
Yeah,
let's
and
mess with that.
I said, let's do this, let's do that. And he's like, okay, let's. And then the creative process starts, and then the beats and the music really begin the story. And then I start writing lyrics, I start writing poetry, and I write the melodies and I write the lyrics, and then we kind of do a swap at the end. So at the end of the process, they'll give me their notes on the lyrics and the melody, and I will give them my notes on the production. So that's why we always share the credits, because we really work together.
The record comes out November 11th. Art Pop, let's get a couple questions online. At the Aura Girl writes on Twitter, describe Art Pop, the album, in 3 words without using art or pop.
Oh, come on, monster. I can smell one of those monsters from here. How will I describe it? 3 words.
And not the F word.
Oh, okay.
Or some other words.
I'm going to use 4. We could belong together. That would be how I would describe the album.
At Mayor31, what do you have in store for the VMAs?
Oh, well, that's going to be a show. Don't miss it.
I'm sure it will be.
Don't miss it. We're planning something fantastic, and I've been rehearsing for months and months. Rehearsing standing, and before that, rehearsing lying down, laying in my bed.
No kidding.
You know, are there any dance moves that you have to avoid now because of your hip injury?
No, I actually have better rotation in my right hand.
There's the stripper music. Yes.
And I can name a few people that are very happy about that.
I bet you could. A few, huh?
Actually, just one.
Okay, thank you. I'm about to ask you to qualify that.
And maybe some of my friends who we have a good time, all of us. They're all here today. I mean, they're in the corner, and they've been up with me all night making this lyric video with the fans.
At Gapster10, why didn't you tweet much during your recovery from surgery?
I really wanted to completely recover, and I wanted to take back the things that are mine, which is my identity and my clothing and the way that I dress and my music and my style. These are things that are part of me. It's not marketing. It's who I am, and I felt almost as though the things I'd created began to belong to the public, and they decide what they mean and what I'm trying to say. So I thought, I'm just going to take a break for a while and take back those things that belong to me and have them just belong to me for a bit. And and me falling sort of back deeply in love with my obsession with glamour and obsession with glam music. And, that's really art pop in a nutshell musically. It's a really very true glam electronic album. And in that way, what I mean to say is you say that it sounds retro, but it doesn't. And I know why you say that, because the feeling, it feels like something.
For me, it's...
Yeah, the claps, yes.
That's what I'm hearing. Plus, I meant that juxtaposed to what I'm playing every 5 seconds here.
Right,
so it doesn't sound like...
Right, which is retro in a completely different way.
Right.
But this is more about the feeling being retro. I want people to feel that time in music when it wasn't about tabloids and it wasn't about gossip and it wasn't about celebrities. It was just about the records and people hearing music and
feel
coming
people.
together.
I'm sure at Mickey's last night when you play Applause Out, I could just imagine the energy in a place like that with the insatiable need to dance when applause comes on.
And
it calls
watching the
that.
performers. I mean, each one of the girls as they came out performing their songs and, hearing the lyrics, I live for the applause in the background, it made me really emotional and excited because that's how I started. Like I said, all those girls that were there last night are just like my friends growing up in New York.
Right, you can relate to them.
Not only can I relate to them, but I feel that the world can relate to them because everybody loves to be adored.
Right. Well, we adore you. Can you hang out for just a few more minutes? You have to go.
No, we're good.
All right, good.
Nowhere else to be today but promoting Applause. Buy it on iTunes.
Well, you're doing a good job of it live on AMP Radio. More with Lady Gaga in a minute.